The theme of my childhood is that our life is shaped by our experiences and the people around us. Kalam's secure childhood, inspiring parents, supportive friends, and honest teachers instilled great values in him that gave him wings of fire. Coming to the title, Abdul Kalam talks about his childhood days in his autobiographical account. In particular, he talks about some incident that left an indelible impression on his young mind. He describes his family, his house, his childhood experiences, and his childhood friends. Therefore, the title My Childhood is very apt. Coming to the characters, Kalam's parents, Jainuddin and Ashyama, were tall and good looking. Though they did not have abundant resources, both of them were very generous and fed a lot of outsiders along with their own family members. Practicing the values of honesty and self-discipline, they led a simple life which did not have any place for inessential comforts or luxuries. However, Kalam's father made sure that all basic necessities were provided for. He was very liberal and didn't believe in thrusting his thoughts on his children. He had a secular approach and contributed fully during the celebration of Hindu festivals like Sri Sita Ram's Kalyanam ceremony. Kalam's mother was ideal support to her husband. She had faith in goodness and was a very kind-hearted woman. Now Abdul Kalam, a boy of ordinary looks. Abdul Kalam had many sterling qualities right from his childhood. He had immense affection and respect for his parents. He inherited the values of honesty and self-discipline from his mother, from his father, and faith in goodness and deep kindness from his mother. Kalam was an enterprising and a hard-working child. He collected tamarind seeds when they were in demand and sold them to earn small yet significant amounts. Very confident of himself, he did every piece of work assigned to him. He helped his cousin to catch bundles from the running trains when the train halt in Rameshwaram was suspended during the Second World War. He was also a sensitive child and learned valuable lessons from his experiences. He learned early in life that caste-based segregation is a poison that must not be allowed to thrive. Kalam was also progressive and took the decision at the right time to leave his hometown to study further and grow in life. Science teacher. An orthodox Brahmin, Mr. Iyer was Kalam's science teacher in school. He was a very tolerant and broad-minded person. He was a rebel who wished to bring about a transformation in society and was mentally prepared to confront hindrances during this process. He faced challenges even from his own family when his wife refused to serve food to Kalam, who had been invited by Iyer himself. But without losing faith in his belief that caste and religion do not segregate people, he served the child himself. Thus, he reformed his wife not by force but by setting an example. Iyer was also a dedicated teacher who established a good rapport with his students. He encouraged and inspired them as he taught and spent long hours with them. Now let me highlight some main points. Abdul Kalam was born into a middle-class Tamil Muslim family in 1931 at Rameshwaram. The family though was middle class, but his father provided all the basic necessities and Abdul Kalam had a secure childhood both materially and emotionally. Abdul earned his first wages by helping his cousin Samsuddin in his business of distributing the daily newspapers in Rameshwaram. Abdul was much influenced by the qualities of his parents, teachers and friends. He was very friendly with 3 Hindu boys, one of whom, a Brahmin, always sat next to him in class in the front row. Once a new teacher asked Abdul to sit in the last row in class because he was a Muslim. This made his Brahmin friend cry, which made a lasting impression on Abdul. When the Brahmin boy's father came to know about this, he scolded the new teacher for spreading communal intolerance. Abdul learned the lesson of breaking social barriers from his science teacher, a Brahmin. The teacher invited Abdul home for a meal, but the teacher's wife, being orthodox, refused to serve Abdul in her kitchen. Then the teacher himself served Abdul and also sat with him to eat. This convinced his wife to serve Abdul herself when Abdul visited them next. When Abdul was grown up and the Second World War had ended, Abdul took his father's permission to go to the district headquarters for higher studies. His father joyfully permitted him to go and grow.